Gamers, hello and welcome back. Nope. Oh, yes, I am live. Great. My microphone is good. Welcome, everyone, to Moonshot's greatest, newest experiment in video game streaming innovation. What if we just had a white guy do it? Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm ready to stream by myself tonight. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm here to play a new game that I've never played before. It's a game that came up as we were talking about games that we could play that weren't just Pokemon ROM hacks, and games that we might enjoy. But this one, we really... it's a game called I Was a Teenage EXOCOLONIST, which should be popping up any moment here. And I believe audio should be coming through now, but the game audio just got quiet. So give it half a second before it makes a liar out of me. This game, I know very little about it. I just know that it is I believe that it is a deck builder style. It's a roguelike deck builder in function, but not in form, if that is going to make sense. Where you are telling a story using the mechanics often of deck building and learning stuff. But I remember this is a very story-heavy game, and not one that is like super conducive to sleepover Sundays. So while I'm streaming alone, I figure I might as well just read to you all. Nine and Eels, I'm sorry to hear that. That your cooking escapades have been a little iffy. But I'm glad that you're doing okay tonight. Sam, everyone say hi to Sam in the chat. She's here and alive, just barely. But I'm doing a stream. This is a stream for Sam to watch. So we're gonna here. I'm gonna say before we get going, just as a heads up, there are some content warnings on the game, so I might as well say them out loud before we actually dig into things. It is suitable for ages 13 or older. Does not contain excessive violence or explicit sex, but it does deal with mature topics, which will be uncomfortable for some players. There are many ways to live your life on Vertumna. Just like in real life, some choices can lead to dark places. Broadly, content warnings include the following: major character death. We can find out exactly who dies. Children in peril, animal cruelty, bodily harm and grossness, implied sexual content, drugs and alcohol, violence and text, mental health and trauma, domestic abuse, and traumatic global events. I'm going to be real. I'm going to try to, not that I'm necessarily going to try and play a squeaky clean playthrough or anything like that. I'm not looking to dig super deep into any of these, but if you need to hop out at any time, feel free to do so. Just want to give you a heads up as we go in. But yeah. Yeah, Sam has a cold and basically can't talk is really the long and short problem of it. I'm still getting over this cough, but not as bad as Sam has it right now. I'm gonna bump up game audio just a smidge, and we'll deal as we go. But in the meantime, let's start a new game. Game's making me make choices. Already done, game. Thank you. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Fire. Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out. You aren't sure how you got here, or what on Vertumna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure approaches through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is a ringing in your ears. Let's climb out. You try to stand out, but one of your legs folds uselessly underneath you. It won't hold your weight. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you toward the door. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Remember when I said that I wasn't going to try and play a super heavy playthrough to start? Here we go. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog, like from Earth? The creature howls and lunges, its jaws open. Okay, I think I made a mistake in this playthrough. It said to wake up, and clearly I shouldn't have. Always a mistake. Alright, how is audio sounding for everyone? Now that the audio is a bit heavy. You are born on the Stratospheric, Earth's first colony ship, halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the end of the Sol system. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens which make fresh airs and vegetables for the ship. Like the other colonists, they bravely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet Vertumna 4 in the hope that they could escape Earth's troubles. Glad to hear audio's good. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merged their cultures and traditions. They name you Solanacia, Solana, Solane, or something else. I'm gonna go Solane, just because it's gonna be easier to say if I have to do it multiple times as we go through. You're a bright-eyed child with an active imagination. Sometimes too active, your mom says. Use the sliders on the left to choose pronouns and late teens appearance. They can be changed at any time. I'm gonna go more masculine just because that is where I am. So that works for me. Yeah, of course I have blue hair and active imagination, yeah. You have vivid dreams of things you've never experienced. Dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles, and strange animals. You wonder if this is what Vertumna will be like. Every child on Stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement. By age 6, you see the first sign of yours. Eagle eyes, extra fingers, absorbent brain, super strength, calm temperament, or nothing at all. I want extra fingers. We're going for extra fingers. Better for gaming. Yeah, one of these things is not like the other. Plus 10 creativity, gain memory, extra fingers. You've heard that long ago having a sixth finger would have been something you'd hide or even remove. But Ani Sedent says some of the best musicians back on Earth have the gene for extra fingers, just like you. You're also very good at making crafts, which I do with my friend, energetic and loyal Anemone, tough and gentle Cal, bold and confident Mars, quiet and adventurous Diz, studious and mature Tangent, or shy and sweet Tammy. Who's our friend? I like any of these kids. Who's our friend? I kind of like having a friend who's quiet and adventurous. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I got 6 hands, motherfucker, or 6 fingers. Let's go with Diz. Who's Diz? You're Diz. Okay. Unlike his studious twin sister Tangent, Diz sits at the back of the classroom and doodles on his holopalm. You bond while cracking jokes about weird diagrams in your textbooks. His quiet nature and morbid curiosity make him somewhat of a loner, but at least he has a friend in you. Yeah, Diz. Diz's secret. +2 if in the first or last pane. Okay. So we're getting cards as we make our character and fill out our backstory. Because we have Diz's card and we have 6 fingers as a card too. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. Professor Hal says it's like a doorway to the other star systems, with the planet Vertumna 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. And when the day finally comes, it starts with a rumble, then things start to slide off tables. You hurry to gather near the escape pods just in case. The emergency area is crowded with families. It's gonna be fine, Solane, your dad soothes. We'll be through the wormhole and down to the planet before you know it, just like we practiced. Your mom gives him a sharp, worried look. Red emergency lights switch on as the siren begins to sound somewhere distant on the ship. I don't think it's about to be single dad Sunday. I think it's about to be no dad Sunday. You try to breathe slowly like you were taught, but you're very scared. You look out a porthole. The stars are gone. When you're frightened, you try to be brave for others, get in touch with your emotions, or think of a game to play. Yes, we do have hot parents. I'm going to think of a game. You start a game of Rambutan with some of your classmates. You pick the topic. Types of fruit. Cal thinks about it. I could name 10 kinds of fruit, he says. Maybe I could name 11, Diz mumbles. Anemone confidently answers with 12. Back to Cal. He thinks again. I can name 20. Is this a real game? I thought this was just a thing that Game Changer made up for that episode. I can name 20. The others shrug, and Anemone tells him to go ahead. Apple, orange, banana, Cal starts. Tomatoes are a fruit, and cucumbers, and corn. The game immediately erupts into an argument of semantics, as many games of Rambutan do. You wait. The shaking builds. You get 20 stress. We're not doing great. Oh, we got up here. How many kudos we have, a reputation-based currency. Stress, physical and mental exhaustion. Rebellion points, relationship with adults and colony government. Corn is a fruit, yeah. I believe so. Like, technically. It depends on what your definition of... Are you talking biologically, or are you talking or botanically, or if you're talking like food-wise? Because food-wise, I think, is what people care more about for what things are, and that's a little different. Anyways, everything starts to get very weird. The hallway stretches and stretches, and we're stretching too. Our arms impossibly long. Your head feels like it's slowly filling up like a balloon and contracting down to the size of an atom at the same time. Is this the wormhole? You hear the distant, ominous... Oh, I can scroll. You hear the distant, ominous squeal of metal giving way as the ship shudders and lurches in slow motion. The weirdest part is the sense of deja vu. You're sure this has happened to you before, you know, somehow, that everything is going to be okay. The shuddering reaches a crescendo. You hear an impossibly loud crunch and feel weightless for a few seconds, before gravity slams you back against the wall, head first. You black out. As you slip unconscious, you feel yourself twisted out of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow all at once. And more than just one tomorrow. Lots of them. Different tomorrows. You find yourself in a place that you know from your dreams. Tilled fields, dramatic ridges, and a stranger, but also not a stranger, grinning as she grabs your hand. Hurry up, she says. I'm not going to let you miss this. Distantly, you can feel the ship shaking has stopped and hear your parents' worried voices. Feeling safe, you slip further into the warm embrace of the stars. You drift. Minus 20 stress. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the medbay. The medbay under you plays a soft tone and an automated voice speaks. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial energy has completed healing. They may now safely be discharged. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something seems different about this room. It's so bright. You try to focus out the window. Something's definitely different. Sunlight, trees, ground? Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin and blue yellow suns is streaming through the windows. You peer out and see fields, glass-walled domes, and walls ringed by giant mushroom-like trees. There are construction materials everywhere, and people walking around, outside, on the ground. You better get out of here and join them. I'm rushing out. I'm a rusher. I rush in. Oh, cute. I kind of thought this was just just an adventure point-and-click thing. Oh! Tammy jumps as you step out of the ship's quarters behind her. You're awake. Are you all better? You better go see your dad. She points southeast towards some geodesic domes. To walk, click on the ground, click on characters to talk to them. Okay. I think I can also just WASD. Tammy looks concerned. You slept for so long after you bumped your head, she says. I bet your parents were worried. Your dad's working over in geoponics near those domes. They're called greenhouses. I'd go with you, but, well, this is as far as I've been from the ship since we landed, Tammy stammers, blushing. It's scary outside. I'm going to turn down the game just a smidge so I don't feel like I have to yell. Of course, now that I say that, the music completely cuts out, so... There he is, Dad! Dad. Selene! Your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're finally awake. Dr. Instance thought it'd be best to keep you asleep while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year, my snoozy little gooseberry. He checks your head and looks relieved. He's clearly very worried about you, but he covers it with jokes and smiles. He's so embarrassing. Welcome to Vertunma, he says, gesturing around you. You've never seen the stratospheric from the outside, except in pictures. The ship's been separated in two, and parts taken off to form other buildings and a big wall around the whole colony. The alien jungle creeps right up the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dotting their way up the hill. How did you do this so fast? You've been asleep for weeks, my dear aubergine, he says, and these geodesic greenhouses practically put themselves up. But some of this is only a quick, temporary solution, he admits. We'll keep growing and improving things. One day, our little colony will be as big as a whole city. Oh, before I forget, he pulls a package out from his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Do you know what day it is, he asks. You honestly don't. You remind him you've been asleep in the medbay. Happy birthday, he shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday already? You feel a dizzying sense of déjà vu. You stare hard at the wrapped package. You know exactly what's in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package some years ago on the ship. Inside is going to be a small medallion the shape of the sun your dad made by hand. Open the package. How did you know this? It's exactly as you imagined, as you dreamed. A feeling of panic rises in your throat. Your hand shakes, but how? Your dad notices. Are you okay, Selene? He snaps his fingers. Dr. Instance shouldn't let you out so early. Sometimes those sleeping meds take a while to wear off. They might make your head feel funny for a few hours. You nod. Maybe that's all that is. Someone shouts your dad's name. Listen, I'm so sorry, Selene, he says, but I have to get back to work. There was an accident when we landed, and... He stops himself. Don't worry. We're gonna fix it, your mother and I. Professor Howe's expecting you in classes if you're feeling up to it, your dad says, pointing west to the engineering wing at the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier. Or you can relax in your quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk later tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your hair. Have a wonderful birthday, Selene. I love you. Man, what if I just gave him a thumbs up? Love you too, Dad. To enter buildings, click on the door or the flag beside it and get close and hit enter. Sure. You choose an activity. Choose an activity for the month to gain skills and advance time. There are 13 months in a year and 10 years to the end of the game. You'll only have time to focus on a few things. Geoponics. The greenhouses have different biomes inside, growing plants from Earth that might belong in the desert, jungle, or temperate forests. Some are so desolate that you have to spray off any germs, or delicate, you have to spray off any germs in an airlock before you can enter. The seasonal garden outside is dotted with blue nobodies, little flowers with what look like wriggling creatures stuck inside each one. They're related to Heartless, but they're not Heartless. It's a long story. A sign explains it's a decoy, meant to attract some kind of flying predator to come pollinate the flower. Hey, Diz! You see Diz sitting on the ground behind the bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate in the wall to the south, where grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly without looking up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need walls? You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memory so strong you think you might faint. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. For years in space, you've had half-remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, of sifting through the wreckage that used to be your home. trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Breaking you from your daydream, Diz whispers, I think there are monsters out there. I thought I was just yelling the whole time, but I think that this is just how they're saying how I say. I believe you. Stop making things up or our parents will keep us safe. Diz is my buddy. I believe you. No, you don't, he says. You're being sarcastic, I can tell. Nobody believes me. He turns his back and ignores you. I think if I say they're huge and wriggly and dangerous, he's going to be like, hey, fuck off, okay? So I'm just going to let him be. You tried. Diz is so sensitive about being teased. I tried, bud. Hiya, Selene. Anemone seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball around with her foot, making patterns on the weird blue snow. The stuff's different from snow on Earth, she tells you, because it isn't cold, but it's still neat. You can make stuff out of it. Her foggy head clears a little. Anemone's simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. Might be an accessibility thing? Yeah, I could see that. Looking at it before, I feel like it only gave me like one option to talk and the other was like sit quietly. So it looked like it was just like yelling was my answer before. What are you making? Just snow spirals, she says. But earlier me and Cal made a big snow pal. You missed it while you were sleeping in medbay. She smiles her broad gap-toothed smile at you. Now that you're awake, you can play. Why aren't you at school? She smacks her forehead. School! I wondered where everybody was. I guess I'm going to be late for humanities class. She doesn't look very worried, do you? It's okay, she says. Professor Hal's chill. He won't mind. But we should probably go now. She grins and starts running toward engineering. Hey, race you! No fair. She's getting a head start. Is this engineering, I assume? Yeah. A low throbbing noise comes in from the engine room. Excuse me. Which provides power to the colony. Other corridors lead off to the teaching labs in medbay. You know the route to your classroom well, but the rest of this wing is off limits to children. Congruence, the ship's onboard AI, beams down at you from a nearby holo screen. Don't forget to study hard, Selene. Pick an activity for the month. We can study life sciences, or we can study humanities. I think... So we've kind of built in a little bit of humanities just by talking to people. I think that I want to study life science, just because I think that we've landed on a place, we gotta make it better, my dad's doing this cool stuff, he said to go to study life sciences. Let's study life sciences. Good afternoon, my burgeoning biologists and upcoming chemists. Professor Hal welcomes you back to your old classroom. This afternoon we'll learn what I like to call the wet sciences. I regret my choice immediately. He gestures to his hollow projected lesson plan. Biology, chemistry, medicine, ecology, and geology. You learn a little bit of everything, with opportunities to further study in your favorite field. If you're looking for something a little drier, try registering for engineering classes. For today's lesson, Professor Hal tells you, we'll start with a fun group project. You'll be studying the mush tree, a prominent natural resource native to Vertunma. In the ideal conditions, it can grow to a speed of over 1 meter a day and have a diameter of up to 30 centimeters. He stands on his tiptoes and gestures to illustrate. Your team will experiment to find those ideal conditions. You're teamed up with Tang and Cal and given a mush tree spore and a bucket to grow it in. The rest is up to you. Tang looks up the surveyor's notes in HoloNet. Mush trees, she reads, are the most abundant south of the colony in the stormy, moist regions of the subaqueous swamp. What if we use water instead of soil, Cal suggests, like they do with hydroponics? Tang nods. If they like wet water, that might work. Selene, do you have any suggestions? Lower the water's pH, put it under a bright grow light, sing to it daily, run a current through it. I feel like we want it under a grow light. I know a little bit about hydroponic plants just from doing fish tank stuff. Sing to it daily is a good choice, but I don't want that to take up all of our time, so I think I'm going to put it under a grow light. You lower the light so it's right over your bucket of water and plop the spore in. Every day you rush to the classroom to check on its progress. At first there's nothing, but by midweek your little mush tree shoot sprouts up and starts its journey. You raise the light gradually as it grows toward it. In the end, yours is the middle of the pack. Since mush trees tend to grow in rainy, overcast places rather than hot, dry ones, you wonder if you might have given it too much light. Oh well. When you go to work or class, you'll play a quick card challenge as the month passes. Move cards to fill the 5 panes and make the best hand you can. Yes, the order matters. If your total in the circle to the right reaches the goal value, you win. Depending on your cards, some challenges can't be won. You still get a reward for doing your best. There's a bonus for flushes of the same color together. Bonus for pairs of the same number or same numbers together. Okay. Bonus for straights, increasing from left to right. And the more cards in a pair, flush, or straight, the higher the bonus added to your total. They can also affect each other and can be rearranged to fit the best total score. Okay, so my goal is 9. So I want these next to each other because they'll get a bonus. And I think I want the ones next to each other so that those get a bonus. And then these will all be the same color. Right? So that's just pretty... Oh, the medallion gives me a +1 on challenges. So that's probably what this one, yeah, +1 from Sun Medallion from my gear. Okay. I worked well this month. I got +1 to biology. Your skills increase when you go to work or school, with extra skills if you win the challenge, and a kudos bonus if you make the highest scoring hand with your cards. Working also increases stress, which prevents you from working if it reaches 100. To relieve stress, take a month off to relax in the quarters wing. Okay, so 1 kudos, 15 stress, 1 reasoning, 3 biology. Oh, and 1 something from our friend. I didn't see what that was, and I can't scroll back to it. I'm not sure how to check my... Okay, so the cards are memories. Cool. That was Tangent. I think it was getting plus friendship with Tangent. Okay. Your parents have been working from first dawn to well after dinner every day. You know growing food is an important job, and it's vital to get crops in the ground right away. But there seems to be something more to that. It's such a change from growing up on the stratospheric when you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them at night before going to bed. Though you can tell they're exhausted, they make an effort to spend time with you. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom watches you as she works a pebble out of her gardening tiller, which also serves as a crutch. How have you been holding up? I learned some stuff in school. School's so boring. +5 rebellion. Your mom gives you the look. Selene, things are different now that we've landed. You won't be a kid for much longer. You have to start thinking about the future, and that future starts with a good education. Your dad has a more sympathetic smile. You just have to find a subject you like. And you know, Professor Hal will give you kudos if you get good grades. You can spend those at the depot once it's open. You know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom, I think there are lots of different ways to learn, and school is just one of them. You can learn from working on a hobby or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs, though you can tell she's trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree that this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things differently than on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future. I'm 12. I'm 10. And if that means you find your own way, we'll accept that. Your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas for how you can spend your time. And come by geoponics, your mom says. We could use your help. We could shovel dirt. All right, we're in the mid-quiet. So what are the options here? This is the med bay. Living quarters, so we can just chill for a month. Okay. That's our friend, who I'll talk to in a second. The garrison. Small team led by Security Chief Rhett with enough to keep the peace on Stratospheric. To stay busy, they also ran the exercise gym and sports ball courts. Yeah, this is a whole new planet. We don't have child labor laws yet. You can start digging. Here on Mertundma, the garrison's expanded fast. They're building a huge wall around the colony and have an outdoor firing range and a big covered dojo. And best of all, a regulation-sized sports ball court. There's Mom and Dad at Hydroponics. Who are you? A sharp whistle interrupts your thoughts. Hey, Selene! Mars calls out to you. Come here, I have a job for you. You walk over to Mars, who's sheltering from the snow under the ship's overhang. It's so gross here, she complains. A spark snow could ruin my good clothes. At least on the ship we had climate control. Ugh. Tammy made me some soy sweets, but there's no way I'm going out in all this weather, she continues. Since you like running around in it, could you fetch them for me? Okay. Good, Mars claps. She's probably just down the hill near our quarters. Mars sighs. She's scared to take more than a few steps from the door. All she wants to do is hide inside and make sweets. What's this? Command is the warren of long hallways with doors off to tiny nondescript offices. Everyone you pass seems to be hurrying off to something important. The end of one hallway opens to a supply depot, which works as both requisitions office and general store. Beyond it are cavernous warehouses stacked high with supplies from Earth, now being gradually unpacked and distributed. You think Mars is the one from the concussion video? I could see that. Colony food shortfall. Security rating evaluating. Hosting the first annual Vertumnalia festival during the second month of dust. Take precautions about the outside boundaries. Xenofauna have been sighted in the area. Survey teams are investigating. Love xenofauna. Current council and administration. Governor Udicott command. Chief Administrator Seek command. Security Chief Rhett, Engineer Instance, Flulu, Antecedent, and Melatonin. I have met Instance, I think. The name rings a bell. Maybe not. Maybe someone just mentioned it. It's a word too, so that doesn't help things. Okay. I'm 10. I can't comprehend what xenofauna means. Tammy's staring obliviously at the sky, smiling to herself. She startles as you approach. Oh, hello, Selene, she says, putting her hand to her chest. Do you need something? I'm here for Mars's soy sweets. Oh, it's so nice of you to help out Mars. She's a very important person, you know. She hands you a box wrapped in a pink and yellow scarf. One order of mango soy sweets, made fresh this morning, she says. Please tell Mars she can have the scarf back, okay? She used some of her kudos to nanoprint it for me because it's so dusty here, but I think I'm getting used to it now. Tammy smiles again and tucks her hair behind her big elven ear. Elven? I guess so. For a second I thought it was meant like, just as an adjective, but okay, elves. Mars is so cool, she says, fondly. Sometimes she's kind of bossy, but I know she really cares, too. Mars puts her hand out expectantly. Give it here. Okay, I don't have the stats to be a dick. Well, I could be a little bit of a dick. Here it is. You hand over the box of soy sweets with a smile. Mars takes it and giggles. You're such a good sidekick, doing everything I say. Got +5 loyalty. I'm neutrally regular. She opens the box and hands you a soy sweet. Your tip, she tells you. Oh, an administrator Seek's looking for someone to do delivery jobs for the depot, she says. I don't want to do it, because, like, ew, running around out there? No. Just go through there, she says, gesturing to the door behind her, and tell him I referred you. That's okay. Anemone is bumping a sports ball with her wrist, trying to keep it in the air. Heads up, she shouts and bumps the ball in your direction. Think fast. I'm not tough enough to do a trick, but I could bounce it back. Hell yeah. You bounce the ball back and forth with her, trying to see how many times you can rally and keep it going. Anemone tells you about a new sports ball court, a proper regulation court, way bigger than the little zero-G one on the Stratospheric. Her brother Com's coaching junior sports ball team this year. Yeah, I love playground nepotism giving me a job at 10 years old. He's so great, she says. He's good at everything, especially spiking. He's coaching me to play awesome like him. You should come join us. I could learn to play sports ball. I'm going to go... I want to learn some engineering. I need 5 or greater reasoning. I have no reasoning. Okay, fine. I was hoping I could look over it and see. You learn about Vertumnan geology by comparing various rock samples from Earth to ones on Vertumna, placing them on the Mohs hardness scale. The Earth samples are weird and gray compared to the pinks, purples, yellows, and teals collected by surveyors. Earth must have been a dull place. Alright. So let's do these. And then we can do... We can't connect yellow or zeros, so we can do that. Oh, I can't fill the whole board. But this will win. Is this... These are worth 2, which is better than just... Well, real talk, is this better? This is better. Great. Super goal. I didn't see that there was a super goal. I'll take a super goal. Plus 4 biology, plus 1 reasoning, 15 stress, and a kudos. Plus a friendship with Tangent. Okay. I like Tangent. So we get a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering what someone's about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning you were sure Professor Howe was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plate of hash browns. You even told Mars to watch. He didn't, though. As Professor Howe walked away, his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy. At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings, only to be saved by strange people you've never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into a colony recycler. Everything seems so familiar, but when you try to recall their faces when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. But what if those things haven't happened yet, but they will someday? Anytime you try to tell someone they think you're playing a trick, or that you're sick and need to go to medbay, you eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why? I don't want people to worry. I just want to be normal. Or secret powers are fun. I think that I don't want people to worry. I think that that is where I am. I think that, that would be my driving thought beyond, oh, I have a secret that no one else knows. Your parents have so much on their mind already. You have a feeling that something's happening at Geoponics they don't want you to know. You don't understand it, but when they come home at night, they look really sad, and you don't want to make that worse. If you just keep going to classes and staying out of trouble, it'll be easier for everyone, yourself included. Again, I'm 10. Hey, Tangent. Tangent's hunched over a hollow palm, frowning and poking angrily at the air. She speaks without looking up at you. Professor Howe wants us to prep a list of native flora with pictures. There should be a catalog on the Colony Holoplanet, but I can't find it anywhere. I'll help you find it. Hey, 2 organizing, plus 1 from extra fingers. You launch your own holopalm and start venturing to the colony's HoloNet archives for a list of autumnal plants and animals. 10 minutes later, you find it buried under survey logistics in the expedition's net. Anemone passes by and pulls a face at the 2 of you. Hey, holo nerds, she shouts. School's over. Come play sports ball in the sunshine. Tang just rolls her eyes. It's probably Tange if it's Short for tangent. Not like the drink that people turn into in Evangelion. Tiz is hanging out near the south gates, his hands in his pockets, idly staring at the ground and digging his toes with the boots in the dirt. He nods at you but doesn't say anything. I'm not gonna dare him to eat a worm. I'm not brave enough. Who are you? You step cautiously through the colony gates. Hey there, kiddo. Uncle Tonin blocks your way with a smile. I'm afraid expeditions is off limits for now. It's not safe out there for kids. You better toughen up so you can join the squads when you're older. So that's Melatonin, who was listed in that list of, like, people who are in charge. That is a different person named Tonin. Cal's riding around on the geoponics gardens on his hoverboard. The board comes to a sudden shuddering stop on the rocky ground in front of you. Cal falls off, but catches his balance before he eats dirt. Hey, Selene. Real ground's way harder to hover on than ship floors. There's bumps everywhere. Maybe they don't work outside. Oh, they totally do, he exclaims. I've been all over the place on this thing. Hovering outside is rad. Look at this. He runs over to a small depression in a nearby hill and presents it like it's something amazing. Look at this. It's a skate bowl. Cool. Can I try? Sure, but please be careful. Mom says if I break my hoverboard, we can't make another one. You take turns riding around the bowl, trying to get up enough speed going down one side to come back up the other. You don't land any tricks. It's hard just staying on board without even ground. But it's still fun. Plus friendship, plus toughness. Okay. I can run an expedition. I can go back to school. I want to see what's up at hydroponics. They're setting up a mystery. You find your mom hard at work setting up the greenhouses with a small construction crew. You've seen these plants pinned to the wall of your family's quarters for years now. These geodesic domes will house more delicate plants from Earth. Spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. You looking for something to do? She asks. Remember, Selene, you're responsible for your own schedule now that we landed. You can decide how to spend your time, so long as it's productive. She points toward the engineering wing, in the back half of the stratospheric severed frame. Professor Howe's still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hands on your shoulder. I've got another minute. Anything you need to know? What are you doing in geoponics? She looks down and nudges at a sprout growing between her feet. It's green, the color of Earth's plants. We're doing our best, she says, but it hasn't been easy. I just hope the potatoes and corn can handle the weather here, she says, glancing up at the sky. I hear it rains like all hell in the wet season. She takes a long look at you up and down. You're growing fast, Elaine, but you're still too young for real farming. Instead, well, there's a lot of soil that needs to be hauled. Seeing your disappointment, she nudges you on the shoulder. Don't pout. It'll help build those muscles. You'll need them now that we're out in the real world doing real work. Out here, you have to rely on your physical strength. She flexes her biceps. Your mom's really strong. Okay, bye. I might ask her about engineering in a minute. Hello, my little potato, your dad exclaims, smiling warmly. What have you been up to today? I'm just hanging with my friends. That Cal's a good boy, he says. And have you seen Anemone? She's been out by the garrison playing sports ball. I think she's spent every day outside since we landed. He chuckles to himself. Guess that's what happens when you got good enough brothers to make your own sports ball team. Yeah, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Yeah, exactly. He breathes deeply and looks around. Vertumna's magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I missed seasons. Back on Earth, it got much, much colder, and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our spark snow. He sighs, stretching. You just wait until dust season. Both the suns will be high in the sky, and it'll be real hot then. You'll see. What's engineering got going on? Hal's teaching classes on life science, engineering, and humanities. If you pass all your tests, maybe he'll let you work there in a few years. Your father thinks you're old enough that school's optionals. I don't agree, but I'll be honest with you, she says, gesturing to the fields. We do need every pair of hands we can get. If you want to get to work with me here in geoponics, I'd suggest studying life science. If you don't have a good grasp of biology and ecology, I'm going to stick you on shovel duty. Okay, bye. Time it is. I don't want to be on shovel duty. I have 2 reasoning. Do I? Okay, I gain reasoning from life sciences. This week in biology class, you're learning about predators and prey. Professor Hal brings up a picture of a hop eye on the holo projector and says, "Who can tell me what special thing hop eyes do when they see a predator?" Tang's hand shoots up. "They hop away very quickly. That's why we call it a hop eye." Hal nods. "That's true, but that's not what I'm getting at." Tang stammers and looks upset, like she can't believe she got something wrong. Hal scans the class again. Anyone else? Selene? I need animals, tenor grader. They fly away? You stammer after being put on the spot and say the first thing that comes to mind. That might work, Hal smiles, but hop eyes don't have wings. He gestures to the picture of the one right in front of you on the holo projector. You feel pretty dumb. They thump their feet to warn one of their hop eyes in the area. Then they hop away very quickly. You look over to see Tang smirking at you. No! You both got it wrong, but she still thinks she's better than you. Losing friendship for being dumb? Yeah, I want harder card challenges. Alright, goal is 5. Okay, let's do 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, right? Yeah, that's our... Yeah, joining them together. Is there a way that we can... Yes. No. Hold on. This is our best score, right? Yes. Alright, I need a nap. +1 friendship. Great. Early pollen. Oh, what's up, bud? Diz is sitting on the grass near the gates that lead out to the jungle. He's just staring out into the nothingness and picking absentmindedly at the weeds. He pretends not to notice as you approach. You wanna play a game? He draws his knees up under his chin. Not really, he mumbles into his sleeve. We could build a fort. No, he speaks more firmly this time. I just want to be alone. Sorry, bud. I know I need a break. Can I take a break by playing sports ball, or will that add... No, that adds stress. Okay. I'm worried that the only way that I can take a break is by sleeping. Yeah, kid, we are trying. Do not isolate yourself like this. 100%. You see Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance to the lounge. You've known her for, well, your whole life. Back on the ship, you used to... I could used to tease her. I could be very mean. I used to play with her. Tammy had the best doll collection. After her mom died, her dad used all his nano printer creds to print her a different doll every month for a whole year. Her ears pick up when she sees you. Oh, hello, Selene, she says. Her voice is soft and dreamy, like a beam of starlight. Do you want to play dolls? I sure do. No, you don't think Tammy will ever be too old to play with dolls. If anything, she has even more of them now. She takes you to her quarters and brings out the entire Spacey Stacy doll collection. A disturbingly realistic baby with real bowel movements, and 2 super fancy posable dolls named Lily and Tilly who can be programmed to move on their own. Tammy isn't very good at the programming, so Lily and Tilly just roll around awkwardly when you turn them on. You cover quickly by saying they must be breakdancing at the club. The 2 of you spend the afternoon making up stories of their rise to stardom as professional dancers. Yeah, looking at Lily and Tilly dolls, damn, they should have been at the club. I got 3 kudos. I need a nap. Let's go nap. The ship's quarters where everyone sleeps, eats, and hangs out. The private bedrooms are small. You share one with your parents, so colonists spend most of the time in the big common area. There's a lounge and cafeteria and a creche where all the little kids and babies were raised communally. Ooh. +1 friendship with Tammy. Minus under stress, and I get to forget a memory. That's cool. Yeah, where are my spacefaring girls with massive squishmallow collections? The lounge is a long, well-lit hall along the outer hull of the ship's midsection. It's strewn with tables and cushions and serves as a communal living room for the tiny one-room spaces every family is assigned. You flop down into the lodge's big beanbag pile with some of the other kids. Cal has a dazed, peaceful look on his face. The air smells so good on Vertumna. So does the dirt, even. You notice his clothes are filthy, but obviously Cal couldn't care less. Anemone bounces in. Holy crap, there's so much space to run around and play in. Com and Chief Rhett set up an outdoor sports ball court, and it's way huger than the old one on the ship. Tangent carefully selects one cushion from the pile and perches on it. The school's expanding to some of the empty engineering bays, she tells you, and we're getting a big new lab to do experiments using local resources. There's so much to learn about this planet. Anemone rolls her eyes, but Tang continues. We shouldn't forget our studies just because we've landed, she says primly. I miss space. Plus rebellion, 2 friendship with Tammy. The others look uncomfortable, but Tammy quietly nods. It's scary on Vertumna, and it was much nicer on the ship. Nicer and safer, and not hot all the time, and all the bugs. She shudders. I'm going to stay close to the creche for now. Oh, that's right. She doesn't like leaving here. I forgot about that. You've had less of the deja vu, dreams come to life feeling this week, and you're starting to feel like you'd even imagined it. But suddenly you get a prickling sensation in the back of your neck, and remember that Mars is about to enter the lounge and tell everyone to look outside. You stare at the door. Mars walks through, as if on cue. OMG, everybody, look outside. They're hoisting a flag over command, she says, clapping her hands excitedly. You know what that means, right? She stands tall with her hands on her hips. Vertumna is officially humanity's first exocolony, ever. You look out at the flag, feeling dizzy, and silently mouth the words to whatever she says next. You remember this moment so well. This is history, kids, she exclaims, wrapping Anemone and Tangent under each arm. And we were there. Do I want to forget? If I forget this one, I lose a 1-point card, which doesn't score a lot, but I also have a lot of them. This is just a vanilla 5 points. I think I want to keep them both for now. I think yellow's a good color for what I'm doing. I'm not sure how yellow... I assume it lines up with these stats and these experiences, but I don't have a build at the moment, so I think that this is just who we are. I'm 11. I can still remember my first words. Ooh, cool. You wake from an afternoon nap. You squint into the pink-tinged light slanting through the windows. You must have fallen asleep in the lounge. Tammy's shadow falls across your nest of pillows. Oh, I'm sorry, Selene, she says, giggling. I didn't mean to wake you up. It's just so nice outside, with pollen sparkling in the sunlight. I wanted to open the windows. You rub your eyes blearily. Ugh, you're having the weirdest dream. Since you're awake, you should visit the cafeteria. Auntie Seden's making a new kind of candy. She says it's made of cotton. Isn't that weird? I have to go tidy up the creche first, then I'll meet you there. Save some for me, okay? Go get that free candy. In the cafeteria, Auntie Seden is cheerfully handing out masses of pink candy, puffy and soft like clouds. Oh, Selene, she says, handing you a wand with some candy spun around the end. Here, try some of this. We used to have it back on Earth. You pull off a piece and give it a taste. It's so sweet at first that your mouth puckers. You never tasted anything so sweet and so real. It's not at all like the soy sweets that the kitchen nano printer can make. It melts in your mouth, leaving a gritty residue on your tongue. You wait until everyone's gone, but Tammy never shows up. You look down at the cotton candy in your hands. It's wilted a little from the humidity, but it looks kind of like her hair, you think. Pale pink and so soft. You keep some to give her later. I got the memory of pink candy. You're relaxing in your family's quarters after dinner. Your mom had to run off on some kind of council business, so you and your dad are playing a holo game together. Put your bets in. What fruit or vegetables are you going to call us? I'm on my little bean sprout. When you're about ready to hop off the bed, your mom returns. You can tell from the defeated slant of her shoulders that something's gone terribly wrong. Your dad starts to ask what happened, but she waves him away and approaches you. She sits down and takes your hand, holding it between her two strong, dirt-creased ones. Selene, I'm so sorry to have to tell you this, she starts. Her mouth quivers and she swallows, working on her next words. There was an accident this afternoon, in the creche. Your classmate, Tammy, has died. You try to understand her words. Tammy, dead. That's not possible. You suddenly remember the cotton candy you were saving to give Tammy. Pink and fluffy, just like her hair. You put her hand in the pocket to get it, but what comes out is a sticky, dark lump of hard goo. You stare back at it, your mind blank. I got 50 stress and the status in mourning. Ask what happened. Your mom tells you, as simply as possible, that Tammy was killed by an electric shock from a broken holo projector. It was just an accident. You press her for more, for an explanation. A little girl's dead. Someone you'd grown up with. Someone so much like you. She wasn't sick or anything. You just saw her this morning. She was right there. Why? Your mom's eyes are sad when she tells you, sometimes there's just no reason why. You aren't used to dealing with death, and you don't know what you're supposed to say or do. You sort of mumble, okay, and then get changed and crawl into bed, a full hour before your bedtime. You try to fall asleep, but you toss and turn for hours. You eventually drift off to fistful dreams of that small, sticky red lump of cotton candy. Okay. Mid-pollen. Tang is pacing around in front of engineering. She looks upset. It shouldn't have happened, she says. Tammy's... What happened to Tammy? It shouldn't have been possible. There was no reason for that holo projector to break. Professor Howe said it was recently serviced, and nothing was wrong with it before it just... She gestures angrily. Just blew up for no reason. No one would have wanted to hurt her, so why? How? Doesn't add up. Sorry, Selene. I want to think about this some more. I hate it when I can't find an answer. Oh shit, I think they were brother and sister. No, Tangent and... Never mind. Can you believe Tammy died? Dis asks morbidly. I heard the chief engineer Instance tell someone about it. He lowers his voice. Tammy got shocked by a broken holo projector. The one in the creche with the dancing teddy bear, you remember? When she touched it, she got chucked all the way across the room. He makes a sailing motion with his hand, and bam! She was dead before she landed. Wow, really? He suddenly looks embarrassed. Yeah, I mean, it's too bad she's gone. She was nice. He tugs at the sleeves of his oversized jacket. That's kind of a cool way to die. Damn, little kids are wild. Cal's sitting in your mom's flower garden with his face in his hands. He's clearly been crying all morning, and probably all of yesterday too. He and Tammy were really close. Whenever you guys used to play house in the creche, Tammy was always the mommy and Cal was the daddy. Even though you were just little kids, you kind of always giggled about how obviously they were going to be together forever. Like a princess and a knight. I miss her too. Me too, he snaps, looking up at you. You can see how puffy and red his eyes are. Me really, really too. Tammy always liked these flowers, he mumbles. Sometimes I picked some for her. He runs his hands over the pretty white flowers. Don't tell your mom, okay? Tears well up and slowly leak out of his eyes. He doesn't even blink, just stares at the flowers as the tears run down his cheeks. You decide to give him some space. Mars is staring into space, looking somber. She doesn't even notice as you come up beside her, and barely reacts when you say hello. I'm thinking about Tammy, she says quietly. She used to sit down the hill there in that spot in the sun. Every morning, she'd just sit there for hours in the sun, doing nothing, just being happy. You stare down the hill to the spot near the entrance to the quarters. You can imagine her there, working on some little craft project, humming to herself. She was so nice to everybody. And now she's dead, Mars says, making a face. How's that fair? Of all the people, how come it had to be my friend? You don't have an answer. You never heard Mars call Tammy her friend before, but of course she was. Tammy was everyone's scared little sister, even though she was older than most of you. Mars clicks her tongue. Oh yeah, Administrator Seek's looking for you. I guess they need somebody to do delivery jobs. She waves vaguely at the door behind her, distracted by her thoughts. Wonder if there's actually standard, like does Tammy always die? Yeah, I don't know. Anemone's chucking rocks at the strato, sending metallic clangs ringing into the colony. Stupid planet, she yells. Stupid crash, stupid spaceship. She bends down to pick another rock, but instead just sobs and braces her hands on her knees. Stupid everything. Why'd she have to die? It's not fair. Kids aren't supposed to die. Is that an egg? Huh, okay. Kids aren't supposed to die, I agree. Yeah, I think we can all get on board. Your dad gives you a hug. Sorry you're feeling blue, Selene, he says. Things will start to look up again soon. I will say, Sam has the stream going upstairs on the TV right now, and I can hear it a little bit through the ceiling because my voice carries, and it's a little surreal hearing my voice slightly on a delay from above me. No, you are fine, Sam. It's just not what I was expecting. I don't have it in me to play sports ball this month. Your ears are plugged, so you have it loud. Yeah, no, I know. There's a little part of me that just wants to take the month off. You know what? No, I'm just going to take the month off. You know what? My friend just died. I'm not going to go learn about plants. Feels weird calling it relaxing, but you know what? Okay, I think that we want to get rid of the blue. I think we want to get rid of a 0. Can I get rid of... I can't get rid of both. Okay. You're grieving. Take a month off. Forget wandering. The colony's going to hold a funeral for Tammy. Do you want to attend? If you don't feel up to it, you could just skip it and take the month off instead. Or you could get back to work. Yes, I will attend. The colonists gather in the recycling room. Bringing organics down to be recycled here is one of your chores, but you've only come here for a funeral twice. Both times, a colonist has passed away from natural causes during the 20-year-long journey from Earth. This isn't the first time there's been a funeral on Vertumna, and the first time for someone you actually know. This is the first time. The mouth of the organics recycler has been polished, and a wreath of yellow flowers placed over the opening. Inside, you can see a shrouded figure, Tammy's small, fragile body. Tammy's dad, Uncle Tonin, is here, as well as your parents, and Antecedent, and the rest of the council. Oh, Antecedent, it's a pun. Antecedent. Cal's here with his mom and her partners, already crying in their arms. The room is packed with people, and the feelings of grief is so thick you can taste it in your mouth. Governor Udicott stands before the assembled crowd. There are no words to ease the pain we feel today, she begins, solemnly. There's only the sad company of those of us left behind to share the burden of that grief. Tammy was our child, she continues, one of the first humans to be born in space, and the first to die on an alien planet. In her short life, she exemplified the very arc of human accomplishment, bending hopefully toward life beyond our humble Earth. She's the first of us who can truly call Vertumna home. Her passing is as senseless as it was sudden. Losses like this are impossible to hold within oneself. A painful reminder that life is impossibly precious and fragile. But they also remind us, as always, that as a community, we are capable of great strength. Unicott closes the door to the recycler. You hear Uncle Tonin sob over the hum of the particle disintegrators beginning their work. As a community, we remember Tammy. As a community, we return her body to the soil that nourishes us. In this way, Tammy, our child from the stars, will never truly be lost to us. The ceremony is adjourned, but a few people stay back to console Uncle Tonin as he keeps vigil over the recycler. Cal and Uncle Tonin hold each other and weep openly. Your mom stays behind to receive Tammy's remains. As the head of geoponics, she'll be responsible for adding them to the colony's precious supply of brown soil from Earth. Your dad accompanies you out of the recycling room. He clears his throat. I want you to know that you don't need to be okay, he says, clasping his warm hand on your shoulder. But if you want to take the rest of the month off, everyone's going to understand. Let's go back to school. I think I wanted to take that off, but now that we've had this moment, and I do think that seeing something like this is yeah, there's a circle of life. Let's go back and learn to be part of it. You feel better having said goodbye. You didn't really know Tammy that well after all. It's sad that she's dead, but you have to move on. Well, I didn't need it phrased like that. I liked Tammy. I didn't need... it's whatever. Sorry, Diz mumbles. He looks uncomfortable to be around you. We used to be best friends, but I don't know what happened. Tanya shoots you a distracted look. Sorry, she says. I'm not really good at cheering people up. I'm okay. Let's... You know what cheers me up is studying life sciences. Oh boy. Goals 13. And go 2-1. Is there... So, okay, if I do this, are they... Okay, so that doesn't count as a 2 if I have it in that spot. So, I don't want that. I want 2, 1, 1, 0 to match color, and then get an extra 2 here. 12. Is there an extra 1 that I can find? I mean, is this just... Oh, what? Oh, did I... Oh, no. I did not mean to make my baby card permanently better. Shoot, can I... Alright, well... Baby card's permanently better then. We got a bunch of 1s. Okay. Buff baby crawling. It's our best card. Alright. What's up? Soleil Tender says, approaching with purpose. We need to discuss my brother. You mean my buddy Dish? Yes, Dis, she says impatiently. I need you to figure out where he's been disappearing. Ever since we landed, I barely see him anymore. He doesn't even come home at night sometimes, and She trails off and looks at her feet. Well, I'm not on very good terms with my brother as of late, but well, people are becoming worried. You get the feeling that she's the one that's becoming worried, but doesn't want to admit it. I'll talk to him. He probably won't tell you, she says angrily. Newton's apple, she swears. He won't even tell me anymore. She sighs. You may have to follow him. I would, but everyone in the lab would know I was gone. No one cares where he goes during the day. sneaking mission. Where's the crouch button? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. You tell Diz that his sister Tangent wants to know where he's been disappearing off to. His eyes flit briefly to yours, and he stares vaguely off toward the engineering wing where his sister's reading on her holopalm between classes. He doesn't say anything. Okay, because our friendship's high, where do you go, Diz? His eyes light up and he whispers, I bet you'd like it out there, Selene. He motions to the path stretching away from the colony beyond the walls. I sneak out to go exploring sometimes. There's so much neat stuff. You just have to wait until the grown-ups aren't looking. I'm small, so it's easy. Just don't tell, okay? I don't want to get in trouble. You follow him down to a drain pipe half hidden behind the sports ball fields. Small kids like Diz could fit through it. Or you. Tangent will want to hear about this. And I've unlocked sneak out missions. You've seen Diz use this drain pipe behind the garrison to sneak out through the walls. There's a metal grate that comes off so you can crawl through. Okay. So I guess that's... Oh, well. Tang does strike me as a tattler. I do agree with you. You tell Tangent you know where Diz has been going. You tell her he's been sneaking out to explore the jungle. Not far away, but outside the walls. She looks concerned. Really? She says, wringing her hands. Is it safe? I'll keep him safe. She eyes you skeptically. Full offense, Selene, but you're just a kid, she replies. However, I suppose it's good to know he isn't alone out there. She might... Okay, I'm at 10. 16. Okay, I was worried I was lower with Diz, because he was a little iffy for a bit. It's so hot, she complains. How am I supposed to run in these conditions? Here, I got something for you. Oh, okay. Bummer. I'm gonna play sports ball, buff myself up a little bit, and then next month I'm gonna go explore. After I've increased my toughness just a little bit. She meets you on the court. She's bouncing from one leg to the other in excitement. My brother Com's organizing the youth team, she tells you. Kombucha offers you a high five and greeting, then tosses a sports ball your way. We'll start with a practice game to see what you're good at. You and Anemone are team captains. Pick your team. Com will fill in to even up the teams, but he promises to go easy on the other team. I can choose Cal, Mars, or this dude's name is Kombucha. I want Mars. I'll play Spiker. Mars runs to take position. Seems like she's in it for the glory. Hopefully she'll want to share some of that with the rest of the team. Anemone chooses Kombucha, of course. They bump fists. Your next... Oh, I thought... I'm not going to lie. I thought Kombucha had to be picked last, so I'm sorry to make Cal the last pick. Mind if I play goalie, he asks. Sports ball's fun, but it feels mean to score against the other team. Sam. You face off 3-on-3. Start the game, toughness challenge. Yeah, it does feel like everyone in this game is named after items you'd see at the local food co-op. Absolutely. Oh. Story challenges have 3 rounds instead of 1. After every round, you keep the cards you didn't play and unlock an extra slot to play them in. Losing isn't always a bad thing in story challenges. Okay, so right here, I'm just trying to find... So, okay, I've got a bunch of 3s. I assume my hand's going to fill back up when we get to the... Oh, actually... Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 1, 1, 1. These are going to give me some extra points, and then this'll... Actually, I need to do this differently. This will open up. I'll be able to put Diz's Secret here, which will add to extra stuff here, and then I can slam a 5 in the last slot. So, yeah, okay. Next round. No, it didn't work that way. Okay. Fine. Let's just go. It was all yellow. And then I need 7 here, so 2, 3. Crawling didn't even keep the buff? I just made crawling really good for 1. Okay, that's disappointing. Yeah, we're crushing it. No skill. Great, okay. Cal makes an amazing jump save, but is winded when the ball hits him in the chest. The score is tied, with Anemone and Calm putting the pressure on. Then blam, you score the match point with a rad spike all the way from the net line. Playing sports ball. I will say, it is... Naming the sport sports ball feels like a real cell phone, because it makes it feel like... I feel like sports ball is like a condescending way to talk about sports that is like... It's one of those things that like early 2000s used to be the like go-to joke, but now the pendulum has swung back on it to where it's just like, oh, you're one of those guys that calls it sports ball, huh? And I feel like, so now it just feels like dumb and sneering in a way that the rest of the game absolutely doesn't. Yeah, you literally could have called it literally anything. Hey, bravery, toughness, extra stress. Got friendship with Anemone. It's time for Vertumnalia. Unicott and the Council have called a festival to celebrate life here on planet Vertumna. Everyone gathers in the colony square to hear Governor Udicott's speech. In Earth's history, Unicott begins, and then clears her throat and waits for everyone to calm down. It's literally how my nerdy aunt and uncle talk about sports, not in a positive light. Exactly. Ahem. In Earth's history, Vertumna was known as the god of seasons, change, gardens, and fruit. It's no coincidence that our forebears of the Vertumna Project chose to take on such an auspicious name in the hopes of seeding future bountiful seasons of humanity. We will continue this tradition of Vertumnalia, a mid-season festival to celebrate our Vertumna, this lush planet upon which we find ourselves today. Clap! Everyone claps and applauds. I do feel like a square every time I get some loyalty. The members of the council all get up on stage at one time to give their own short speeches. General Udicott announces each one. Governor Udicott, command. Chief Administrator Seek, command. Rhett Garrison, we've been through this. Instance Engineering, Flulu Geoponics, Steward Antecedent Quarters, and Melatonin of Expeditions. Oh, my mom's Flulu. Chief Cultivator Flulu, okay. When it's your mother Flulu's turn, she announces that tonight you'll be eating some of the very first crops grown from Vertumnan soil. Your eyes go to the feast table. Aboard the Stratosphere, it would have been mostly soy-based food from the nanoprinters, spiced up with what precious fruits and vegetables could be grown in the small growing bays. This year, the Earth's plants look even less robust than usual, but they're supplemented by some Vertumnan plants you've come to appreciate. Juicy potato pods and slabs of edible fungi. Udicott takes the stage after everyone on the council said their piece. What is a festival without festivities, she asks. Professor Hal and Chief Security Rhett have organized a 3-part competition for the kids. Good luck, children. Which one do we join? Bot wrestling, the talent show, or the science fair? We're only capable of joining the talent show. It's an all-singing, all-dancing, all-talent extravaganza. The entire colony gathers to watch the show after dinner. First up, Dis plods to the front of the stage as a pop song starts to play. He just stands there, deadpan, staring into space with his arms at his side while the singer belts out the first verse. Then as the chorus comes in, he suddenly springs to life, dancing and lip-syncing to the lyrics frantically, waving his arms and grinning maniacally. Then collapses back to standing still once the chorus is over. It's hilarious, but you're not sure you're supposed to be laughing. Next up, Mars performs a choreographed dance routine to an old Earth song by an AI idol. She has light-emitting balls at the end of her hair, which she swings around everywhere in the dim light, while controlling a small floating ball drone that dances with her. It's total overkill, but it is impressive. I can do a comedy routine, a magic act, or hoverboard tricks. We're doing close-up magic, y'all. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, let's clear out these vanilla ones, I guess. Our total goal is 47. Okay. I mean, yeah, if we have to do 4, we might as well. If we're forced to play a blue, we should play a blue. Let's get rid of the red, and then we'll at least have these two that'll go together. But we're not winning this one. Do I know any magic tricks? No, I do not. Okay, I can push through to try and win this. Do I push through and take on an immense... I'm going to do a magic trick so stressful that I do need to go immediately take a nap. I'm the winner and everyone wants to be my friend. Kudos are doubled for 3 months. Yes! Everyone is amazed at your magic act, especially the one where you pretend to pull scarves out of your mouth. You win as voted by audience applause. Hey, talent show champion. Mars begrudgingly shakes your hand, leaning in to whisper that you better enjoy your victory now because she's going to destroy you next year. As the festivities are over, everyone takes time off for a much-needed break. I get minus 50 stress. That was a free win, y'all. During the fierce heat of dust, a few days rest is exactly what you need. You feel refreshed. Yeah. Just yanking scarves out of my mouth. Alright, what's up, kids? You're looking for Cal in the garden when you nearly trip over someone else. One of the younger kids, and they're blindfolded? Hey, they exclaim, ripping the blindfold off their face and throwing it on the ground. It's Cirrus, one of Anemone's brothers. He glares at you. I was almost done! Cal jogs over and grabs Cirrus in a friendly headlock, ruffling his messy red hair. Dude, you were so close. Cirrus stamps his feet and complains you got in his way. It's not his fault, Cal says. He didn't know you were playing a game. Give me a sec, I want to teach him how to play. Cal turns to you as Cirrus leaves. Sorry, Selene, he says, sheepishly. I was teaching Cirrus a new game, but he's more like Anemone than I thought. Real competitive, you know? He stoops to pick up the blindfold, brushing off the dirt. I've been trying to come up with different kinds of games other than sports ball, he says. No winners or losers. I just want to have fun with my friends. Cal looks at you hopefully. You want to learn how to play? I just threw away half of my mental health to win a magic competition. No, I don't care about your no winners, no losers game. Cal's smile looks like it's going to stretch off his face. Radical, he shouts, jumping up and down the segment. Okay, so, first put on this blindfold. The blindfold's a little scratchy and smells like dirt. You can feel Cal's big hands on your shoulders. I'm going to spin you around, and when I let go, you got to listen to my instructions. We're going to walk all the way to the cafeteria, okay? You nod. You can't see Cal's grin, but you hear it in his voice as he spins around and counts to 10. 1, 2, 3. First, Cal says, you gotta walk forward 10 steps. Do you follow Cal's instructions as best as you can, or make things difficult for him? Make him earn it. You take 10 large steps, feeling the squelch of dirt under your shoes as you wade into the garden beds. Selene, Cal cries out, you're gonna get me in trouble. You shrug. Okay, next you're going to turn a little bit to the right. You turn a lot of it to the right. No, Cal gasps, but he's definitely laughing now. Come on, Selene. I said a little bit. You tilt your head to the side like you're listening, then spread your eyes wide and spin around in circles while Cal howls with laughter. Cal! Selene! A sharp voice cuts into the garden. Oh, dip, it's your mom. What's gotten into you? She scolds as you sheepishly take off the blindfold. Get out of the garden beds this instant, little boy, or you will be in so much trouble. Cal looks gutted. I'm sorry, Auntie, he says, staring at the ground. I was trying to teach Selene how to play a new game, but it didn't go good. Are we going to let him take the fall for us? Honestly, my mom caught him, and I think that, you know what? I don't want to get in trouble. Stay quiet. You keep your mouth shut. Your mom takes a deep breath and blows it out in a big angry gust. It's okay to have fun, Cal, but the garden is very special. You need to be more careful with important things. Cal nods. I know, Auntie. I'm sorry. No more games in the garden. Your mom gives into a slight smile. I know, Cal. You're a good kid. You'll be running this place one day. How about both of you take a break? I'll clean up here. Cal takes your hand as you speed walk out of the garden. When you're far enough away, he turns to you and bursts into giggles. That was wild, he exclaims. Oh, your mom is so scary. My mom is so scary. I'm gonna go fight monsters. Events in this area can be done in any order. They won't cause time to pass, but will increase your stress. Return home via the Expedition Depot flag or the home button at the top left. Watch for collectibles you can bring back as gifts. Events respawn at the beginning of each year, and new collectibles have a chance of appearing. Alright, what's up, bud? You slipped through the drain pipe and out of the colony before anyone saw you. Anyone, that is, except for a dark form watching you from the trees nearby. Could that be... is that Diz? He turns and disappears into the jungle. Now you're sure of it. It was definitely Diz. He's not allowed outside the colony either. I'm gonna follow him. You scamper after him through the brush, heedless of branches and brambles scraping at your arms and legs. Without a proper envirosuit, you get all scratched up. The kid's fast. You quickly lose sight of Diz and can't find his trail again, but you do learn something by trying. It's a Pokemon! Your way is blocked by a strange small creature with 1 foot and 4 large eyes, 2 of which blink sideways on its head like frog's eyes. Oh, I didn't realize those weren't ears. This thing rules. This must be a Hop-Eye. You've heard people talk about them, but you've never seen one up close. It keeps thumping its foot on the ground really loud. What's its deal? Y'all know what it's clapping its thing for? Let's go with... Alright. It's not great, but it gets some bad cards out of our hand. Alright, we just need 7 here. It's 13. This is 14. Perception in animals, hell yeah. You stop trying to get past it and just listen. Oh, you can hear little squeaking noises from nearby. It's probably warning you away from its nest. You carefully avoid the nest while speaking in soothing tones. The agitated little guardian titters warnings at you, but eventually lets you pass. One moment, y'all. Say I've got my mic on a muter here. I'm going out of my way to make sure that I don't blow my nose directly into the microphone, but apologies in advance if I mess that up. I harvest a sturdy mushwood log. The path here is engulfed by a dust tornado. It whirls and twirls, not showing any signs of moving away. What are my character traits? I'm pretty perceptive, that's good. Perceptive, brave, creative, and empathetic. And biological. Alright. Well, it was a dud hand. Okay, good to know. Hey, super goal! You shut your eyes hard against the swirling dust. Hey, you got a memory. Against the swirling dust and somehow manage to walk a straight line through it. Once you pass through and turn around, the dust storm settles. You wonder if walking through it somehow causes it to die down. -1 to... Total gets -1 during physical challenges. Okay. Okay, time passes, I get some stress. I should head back. Yeah, I want to get in a little closer so that I don't get too stressed. You leave the path and sneak through a strand of mush trees to this little sawmills dotting the area. It's a small but busy operation, 3 people feeding mush tree logs into some kind of machine, while a 4th one directs a 4-legged robot with a plasma saw mounted on the front. I can stay and watch what they're doing. They get a harvesting mushwood card. You stay out of sight and watch how they do it. When one tree crashes down, it almost seems like the others are wincing. It's probably just your imagination, though. They aren't planting new ones or leaving any behind. You know the mush trees regrow every year, but can they regrow when you cut down everything like this? Even the smaller trees and bushes are getting ground up for mulch, with a scary big grinder that scares like a roaring beast. The entire process makes you uneasy, but also proud of how industrious your colony is. You sneak up to the expedition's office at the colony gates. Nobody's seen you yet. The lively hustle through the gates kind of makes you miss your friends inside. If you want to go home, you can sneak through that drain pipe now. Let's go home, because we're getting a little stressed. Yes, go home. Two bravery, 1 perception, and a friendship with Dis. Late dust. Tense looks at the sky and shades her eyes. It's too bright, she complains, and it's too hot. And the nights are cold. Living in stratospheric meant we never had to experience discomfort. Remind me, why aren't we putting our resources into repairing the ship? I don't want to give her a log. How much stress is it going to be to study? $15 stress? Yeah, we can study. Do I study humanities or science? Reasoning and biology or creativity and persuasion? I want to go sciences still. No, let's go sciences. This week in biology class, you're studying sugar bugs. The native species look like purple marshmallows about the size of your fist, all puffy and squishy and kinda cute. They don't move or do much, but if you tickle them, they exude an edible syrup from a hole at the top of their bodies. And now, says Professor Hal, you're going to dissect one. Refuse to do it on ethical grounds, or dissect that cute little sugar bug. I'm going to do it. I think we should dissect it. You're given a, thankfully, already deceased sugar bug to work on. The moment your scalpel slices it open, a horrid smell assaults you, sweet like rotting fruit. Yuck. You see Tang trying not to gag too. Extra loyalty. Every time I get loyalty, I'm like, oh, I'm a good little corporate cog. Goody. Gain a memory of dissecting a sugar bug. Dissection. I never had to dissect anything in a class. Did y'all? Alright, you know what? I'm just going to get a bunch of zeros out of my hand. It's worth 5 total points. No, we can get these ones out. It'll be worth more points than just flat nothing, and these will have things that can combo with them. So this is better. Yeah. This is a biology challenge, so this is just a free 3. Intentionally planned around those classes? Hell yeah. Let's do dissecting a sugar bug. Oh, gems matter for other cards. Okay. We'll get a red combo, and we'll add giggling. All right, then we gotta figure out a way to get 10 points out of this, which we have. Here we go. You carefully section your sugar bug into 6 discrete organs. You take a photo with your hollow palm and carefully fill in labels for all the parts. That's pretty good, Tang says, speaking at your work. Those things are slippier than I was expecting. Parts of mine are still moving. Great job, class. Now we're going to leave them overnight, says Professor Hal. The next morning, your class is in for a surprise. The sugar bugs are alive again, and there are more of them. Your teacher explains that their DNA is so malleable that almost every part of a sugar bug can turn into any other part if it needs to. The resulting sugar bugs are smaller, but will eventually grow into full-size ones. Vertumnan biology is weird. You vaguely recall possibly a frog, but you're worried about its cultural osmosis. I get that. Hey! Alright, we're doing well. Let's go take a nap. In the early wet. Tangent's watching a construction crew build scaffolding for the new engineering pavilion. They're using mushwood, which is so light that one person can easily lift a 10-meter long pole and stick it into place. She points toward them. Human beings are so great, don't you think? Before we landed, it was all just dirty jungle. Now it's civilization. I've been learning about adaptability in writing in biology class. The books say it's what sets us apart from the animals. Like, we don't need fur because we can make warm clothes. And if it's too hot, we can make air conditioners instead. And we can sweat. Yeah. I'm not that biological. I'm almost biological enough to know about sweat. Maybe the animals have neat adaptations. Tangent rolls her eyes at you. Maybe, but even if they do, I haven't seen any sign of intelligent life here. It's just those big dumb xenofauna. Hey, some animals here are smart and friendly. She looks skeptical. They're still animals, Selene. Maybe they're just pretending to be nice to you so you'll feed them. You're lucky they don't eat you. She folds her arms. Dorbs moth look cute, but one can eat through a bag of rice in less than 30 minutes. Even an herbivore can be dangerous here. Doesn't have to want to eat you to be able to hurt you. Together, you watch as the foreman pulls blueprints for the scaffolding onto the floating screen of her hollow palm and raises it to the scaffolding to check their progress. I'd like to see an alien do that, Tang says primly. Humans look defenseless and weak, but we're the strongest species in the galaxy. Who else can literally bend reality to their will? Not a stupid alien, that's for sure. Someone should read a book, yes, absolutely. She puts one finger to her chin. I'm living proof that humanity is greater than our biology, she says. All of us are, really, with our genetic enhancements. We're the next step in humanity's evolution from great ape to galactic superspecies. I know I need a break. Talking to her was very stressful. Hi, Selene. On the ship, adults are always saying, no running, no running. But outside, there's so much room. I can run for 5 minutes in one direction. Even more after the robo-plows clear the land for farms. What's up, bud? Cosmo and Tira sitting with Cal against the makeshift fence that surrounds the gardens. Cal looks absolutely shattered, and Tira rubs his back comfortingly. He sees you and musters up a brave smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Hey, Selene, it's good to see you. Do you want a log? Oh, you found me. He's adjusting better than you expected to life on the surface. He's already found new places to hide and do whatever it is he does out here by himself. Hey, Dad. You're looking a little worn out, my little firefly. Your dad greets you, looking concerned. You know, despite what your mom might say, there is such a thing as too much work. Maybe some R&R over in the lounge would help recharge your solar cells. What do you say? Maybe I just need a hug. Your dad throws his arms wide. Well, get in here, tiger butter. After a long hug, you do feel better. Your dad gives incredible hugs. Yeah, he's moved on to bug names. And tiger butter, somehow. I am a winner and everyone wants to be my friend. Where do I use my kudos? Oh, I don't want to go out. No, I do not. Because I have 10 and they're doubled for a while, but I haven't... Ah, well, let's relax for a little bit. It's nice to take some time off to chill after the stress of school and work, not to mention the mental toll of just living on this unpredictable planet. Looks like you're not the only one who needs some downtime. Some of the other kids are also relaxing in the lounge. I can approach Mars and Diz, or I can sit alone with my hollow palm and get hooked on my... I can get addicted to gaming. Should I become a gaming addict, or should I have friends? It is a tough call. iPad kid. Sometimes the best company is yourself. You find a quiet corner of the lounge and curl up in a cozy egg-shaped chair with your hollow palm. You check your HoloNet notifications. Nobody bugging you. Good. And then you watch some vids from the archive. Ah, maximum relaximum. I'll forget my first steps. That sounds reasonable. I'm not going to forget that I'm hooked on gaming. You're having a terrifying familiar dream. A monster crashing through the walls, unfathomably large, every part of it wriggling and moving and searching for something. It tramples through the colony as you watch helplessly. Time shifts to the wreckage of your home. You're picking through it, looking for something. Tears streaking down your dust-covered face as you lift heavy pieces of debris, searching. You wake up shouting, "No!" But your voice is drowned out by a deafening rumble from the skies outside. The bedroom window's covered in water? It's pouring down from the clouds. You guess this must be rain, but you've never experienced it before. There's a bright flash from outside, and then another crack and rumble. Thunder! It must be a thunderstorm. It's still the early hours of the morning. You've already almost forgotten your bad dream, but you're too unsettled to go back to sleep yet. The rain beats down on the roof of your quarters, joined now and then by great peals of thunder like the footsteps of an angry beast. Hide under the covers till it's all over. You cry a little bit and feel better. Weather's scary. Who knows what it'll do next? We're in the mid-wet. That's what we call this geographical region of the United States during the next 6 months. Got him. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be friends with? Guess I can't really build my friendship with Tammy. Let's build our friendship with Anemone. Let's play some sports. Actually, am I? Not yet. Well, Screw it. Let's do some sports, then we can maybe learn animals at some point. Sports ball. You're paired with a nougat in practice. She makes the mistake of underestimating her, and she wipes a pitch with you. Crawling in my skin. Hey! 3 bravery, 1 toughness, 10 stress. A kudo. Alright, how do we want to spend the late wet? It's the second to last part of the month. You know what? We have not done this yet. Oh, we need 10 or greater toughness or organization. We do not have good organizing. We have slightly better... We do not have anything... Okay, well, it's the same as I was saying before. Never mind then. Apparently, her vouching for us does not help. Let's get our toughness up by shoveling dirt. 3 toughness, friendship with Cal, kudos, and stress. Let's do it. It is your first day in the glorious world of agricultural soil conveyance. Good morning, Selene. Looks like you're working for your old lady. I don't expect me to go easy on you just because you're my son. She walks you around the geoponics wing and points out where everything is. Your job is to move sod, compost, plants, garden waste, and equipment from one place to the other. You comfortable with this, she says, pushing a squeaky old-fashioned wheelbarrow towards you. Now, any questions before you start moving that dirt? Don't we have machines for this? The construction crew's already claimed all the hover lifts, she says, shrugging. But they'll break down in a few years anyways. We don't have materials to fix them. She grips your forearm. We're planet side now. Use your muscles. Nature's hydraulic pistons. Why not use hydroponics? On the ship, we grew most of the plants with their roots in the water. And it's true it was more hygienic that way, your mom replies. She brushes an insect off her arm, which lets out a loud squeak of objection. But hydroponic systems use too much energy. Here, we have to grow as much as we can the old-fashioned way. Where do I move it again? From over there, she points to a dirt pile, to there. She points to an identical pile 10 meters away. She sees your confusion. We had some very precious soil from Earth on the ship, full of all the nutrients and bugs and bacteria our plants needed to grow. But that was lost, she said, in an accident. Now, we have to make more from scratch using Vertumnium soil. This is part of the process. Let's get to work. That's my boy, your mom says, slapping you on the back. You stumble a little. Your arms start to ache after the first half hour of work, but you keep going. By the end of the month, you feel utterly drained and exhausted. And good somehow. You can feel your muscles growing already. Late wet toughness, shoveling dirt. Alright, how do we get to 14? 3, 1... 0, 1, 0. This sets these to ones. Turns, yeah. Plus 5 toughness. I will take that. 5 kudos, 5 stress, 15 stress. The days have been getting shorter, with only the yellow sun barely skimming the horizon. One morning, you wake in the darkness and have to check your holopalm to know what time it is. You see a hollow stream from Mars. Good morning to all my pals, if you can even call it morning. They named it glow season because, like, everything is crazy glowing out there in the dark. I'm staying the heck inside for the next month. What's the point of even going out if you can't see anything? It's going to be a boring month. No way, it looks cool out there. You peek out the window. The wormhole is the biggest you've ever seen it, like a massive fiery ring in the sky. The planet must be very close to it now. And out in the jungle, something new is taking place. The plants are flowering, glowing, iridescent blooms, and everything's full of life. There are strange new sounds, long hooting calls and gurgling roars. After Mars's message is a notice from the council, warning everyone to stay safe inside. Tammy's dad and the other surveyors have been called back and the gates closed for the month. There's a tension in the air, as if everyone's waiting for something. The Yogg. Glow. Diz is staring off in the wilderness outside the gates. Feels different, he mumbles. Don't know how, just different. You ask him what he means, but he shakes his head and stuffs his hands in his pockets. Anemone's running around the sports ball port, touching her hand to the ground at each corner. 18, she counts. 19. When she reaches 20, she collapses in the grass and checks her hollow palm. I'm training, she explains. My brick goat Calm says I have to get my legs climatized to the planet if I'm going to be team captain like him. Here, have a log. Anemone looks at the offering. Thanks. Use it to lift weights. Selene, your mom stalks you as you walk by. What are you doing out of your quarters? It isn't safe here. But I'm going to school. She nods with grudging approval. Fair enough, she replies. Stay close to the stratospheric, got it? We don't know what's out there this time of year. As you walk away and are just out of earshot, you hear her mumble, Stars, it is beautiful, though. Is that everyone that's out? Yeah, looks like it. I do think I'm going to go to school once, though. Because I would like to get my reasoning up so I can do engineering as an adult. Or whatever the next year that I go to is. A low throbbing noise comes from the engine room, which provides power to the colony. Other corridors lead off to the teaching labs in medbay. You know the route to your classroom well, but the rest of the swing is off limits to children. Congruence, the ship's onboard AI, beams down at you from a nearby holoscreen. Don't forget to study hard, Selene. Tang is absent almost all this month. Hal explains the chief engineer instance has asked for Tong's help with a few experiments. I keep wanting to say Tang, but I think Tange is how it would be said. But I can never remember how I think I should say it in the moment, so I just go back to calling her Orange Tang. Folks, half of our audience, do you know what Tang is? Because I think that's a company that folded when I was a child, so does the phrase Orange Tang mean anything to half of our audience? That's the thing that I realized I might have to ask. Because you're judged on what you know, not what you proved you've learned in class. Many other students chose to skip class, but instead get a hands-on experience in their field of interest. Tange has been working closely with Instant since she was just a kid. Never consumed Tang, but I understand the concept. Monkeys in space. I vividly remember the commercials. I have heard of Tang. Okay. Let's study some life sciences. This one's going to be easier if I do this. Yeah. 21. Blackjack. Hard win streak. I just got an achievement for winning 10 card games in a row on hard mode. That's right. 3 biology, 1 reasoning, 15 stress, and a kudos. It's daytime when the emergency sirens start up. Well, what passes for day. It's still nearly pitch black except for an eerie green twilight glow on the horizon. You look toward the gates. They're open. Wait, they shouldn't be open. Oof. The alert blares out of every speaker on the colony. It's the same one you used for hull breaches and fires, and in space it meant you're supposed to go to the nearest emergency shaft and put on a spacesuit. On Vertumna, it means go to an assembly point and wait for instructions. I've never really heard of it, but I figured out through context clues. You can buy Tang now, it's not dead. I really thought Tang was a dead product. Well, ignore me then. The closest assembly point is in the children's creche, but from the opposite direction you hear shouting and loud popping noises. Gunfire. Is the colony under attack? I can hide in the creche, or I can help fight. Because I have bravery 5 or greater. You know what? I've learned how to help fight. Let's make a mistake. Let's get fucked up. You'll try your best to be brave and fight back. First, you dodge some helpful grown-ups who point you back to the creche. Then you head outside to get your bearings. +5 rebellion, +20 stress. Gain the memory of bravely helping to fight. And a gained status heroic. You can hear yelling from the stairs to command and a commotion to the southeast at geoponics where your parents are working. We're going to geoponics. Your parents are defending the greenhouses from a pack of knee-high creatures which seem to have eyes growing all over their bodies. Their oily flesh ripples with a constant, subtle motion as the individual eyes blink one at a time, incessantly. You can't tell which end is which with these horrible things. Cal is standing nearby. Wide-eyed, he slowly picks up a shovel and moves beside you. He reluctantly holds the shovel in front of himself like a weapon. Easy, doggies, he whispers. We don't want to hurt you. Get out of here, both of you, run, your mom shouts, attracting the pack's attention. All except one animal, which moves straight toward you and Cal. And I have empathy 10 or greater. Hell yeah, empathy 11. Let's figure out what it wants. I look into its too many eyes and see fear. The creature's scared of you. To Cal's amazement, you crouch down to try to look less threatening and choose 2 eyes at random to look into, to communicate with. That is a mistake. Do not look wild animals in the eyes. It might work on aliens, on like 90% of Earth creatures. That is a sign of aggression. That is a sign of, I am the alpha male here. And a lot of them will challenge that notion. You start to reach out a hand, but the creature's trembling. Staring into its eyes has made it even more frightened than before. It pounces. We're going to defend ourselves by being addicted to gaming. This is a terrible opening hand. And I guess we just go as hard as we can on yellow and get a bonus. So it'll be 11 out of 29. Let's give Giggling Baby the Mushwood log. That way they both become 2s. Okay. And then there's a secret in the first spot. And then a 1 will gain an extra point. And then we just need 2 points to win here. Good. I think that's the best we can do. Let's do it. All right. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. +2 combat, +1 kudos. You killed it. With nothing but a rake thrust deep into several of the creature's many eyes, the rest of the pack scampers off the moment it falls. Gain a memory facing the eye beast. You've never killed anything before. The body of the creature that was so terrifying a minute ago now looks strangely small and harmless. All of its eyes have closed for good now. Cal crouches beside it in shock. I told you to run, Selene. Uh-oh. Your mom looks furious that you put yourself in danger. She storms over and you think she's going to slap you, then suddenly she pulls you into her arms and hugs you. She keeps rocking you and saying, my baby, over and over. It's pretty surreal. Almost as weird as the dog things with the eyes, honestly. After 2 weeks of darkness, the blue sun barely skimming the horizon, it begins to move higher in the sky, and daytime returns. The council admits they don't know how the gates were opened or how the creatures got in. Some of the attacking creatures were once thought of to be docile. Others are species nobody had seen before. It was like something had driven them to assault the colony. At least nobody was killed. This time. Hoorah. Childhood is fleeting. The game will end when you reach age 20, so you should focus on a few skills to improve and friends to spend time with. Use the Skills and Friends button at the top left of the screen to keep track of them. Good luck! So you get the Quiet Season at age 11. Here are who we're friends with. Empathy Creativity, bravery, biology we're good at, toughness, perception. Got all these cool items. And with that, we start age 11. I think that I'm going to go ahead and call it here tonight. It's been a long time of just reading directly into camera. So this game is really cool. I do not know if I will be back streaming any more of this, but I will probably be playing this on my own. I'm really enjoying this. As a reminder to folks, and I do want to shout this out, I believe if you use Steam, this game is available. I thought it was on itch, but maybe it isn't. Nope, but it is on a bunch of different consoles. So I'm going to put a link to this game in the chat if anyone is interested. This game has been really cool. And thank you all for joining me for the first instance of Single Dad Sundays. You know what? Every week we've streamed and said, I'm sure we'll be back and healthy next week. I'm pretty sure we'll... Excuse me, perfect time for that to happen. I'm pretty sure we'll be back next week. But keep an eye on Twitter. We will probably try to do something if we are not both back up to snuff. Or we'll figure out exactly what we're doing. But thank you all for coming out in the meantime and hanging out with us. It has been a blast. And we will see you all soon. Good night, everyone.